This weekend was a beautiful weekend. It was 35 degrees, nice and sunny, so I thought I'd take the 110 here on a bit of a trip, a road trip. And I did about 120, 130 kilometres in it. Went really well, except I was still bugged by that steering wheel. I took my spanner with me and I was, you know, like on the spline, I was either this way or that way. So, just to prove the point, I thought, well, I will adjust the drag link and get it absolutely spot on. Well, that's where my troubles started, because they were seized in here and here. It's not a big deal, you just warm them up and hammer them. This is a military one with 2 clamps on. You take the clamps off, warm it up, hammer it, candle wax, sun comes out, no problem at all. But there was an issue, because you see, I can't show you this all at once type of thing because it's kind of long, but if you notice here, this ball joint is right tight to the end of the tube. Yeah, this one has got a great big space. So what? Well, it means that because this is always a left-hand thread on the cross eye, and this is a right-hand thread here. So the idea is you're supposed to rotate this backwards and forwards to move the distance of the ball joints, or as it would be the pin here. But you see, if it isn't in the centre, well, by unscrewing this, you're going to push this even further and it'll just lock up. And that was the problem with this 110. Somebody had changed the ball joint, but it was a complete opposite. Instead of being like this, there was a great gap like that. Wow. So I took it all off and I messed about and I got it all freed off. Didn't cost anything, just a little bit of time. But looking at the book of words here, we can find an initial starting point for the drag link if you have to take it off. And this is the problem. When you take the ball joint off, you know, you want to replace the ball joint, you don't exactly know where it was in the first place. But now you will do, because it says here, the drag link has to be 924 millimeters between ball joint centers. You see, where is it now? Here. 924 millimeters. That's your starting point. All right. So we've already know how to center our steering box and lock it up, and put the, you know, get the steering wheel on in its approximate position. There's no keyways in it or anything like that, so it doesn't matter what spline you do it on, it goes round and round, it's just the same. But once your steering wheel is approximately in the right place, and you can do that either with the pin, or if you're really patient, you can spin the steering, measure the distance left and right, and then average both of them out. It's doing the pins a lot easier. But there's a note on here. Now I said move it half a turn. Now on this one it took a little bit more than half a turn. Alright? So be warned. But it says the drag link adjust. On right-hand drive vehicles, if the steering wheel is to the right, the drag link is too long. If the steering wheel is to the left, the drag link is too short. That's on a right-hand drive. On a left-hand drive, if the steering wheel is to the right, the drag link is too short, and if the steering wheel is to the left, the drag link is too long. Alright, so it says adjust the drag link until the steering wheel points straight ahead when the vehicle is travelling in a straight line. No shit, Sherlock. I wonder who that was written for. So, because I haven't boxed this up yet, I took the steering guard off. It was really easy to get off. It's only 4 screws. It's a lot better than the other ones I've seen. I thought what I'd do is show you. I don't know how I'm going to do this because I've only got one camera. But on the steering wheel there, I put a bit of green tape so that I didn't have to get up and wander around all the time. I can sort of get underneath, adjust the steering, adjust the drag link, and see when I was in the optimal position. So what I'll do is I'll get set up, I'll back off the pinch bolts again, and I'll turn it one complete turn, and we'll see how far the steering wheel moves, and that'll give you an idea how much it is. Right, so here goes. I'm going to go down underneath, and I've put on the drag link, I've put a bit of green tape and I've put a Sharpie line so I know exactly where I started and I finished. I'm going to turn it one way and shout out. Right, so this is turning it. That's one complete turn, and you can see how far it moved. That's good, isn't it? That's one complete turn, and you can perhaps understand why I was saying it needs half a turn. So that was screwing it out, I think. Wait a minute, I don't know. Let's turn it back. Oh, this is lengthening the rod. There. Now we should be back in the same place again. Exactly. So now we're going to shorten the rod. There, it should have moved. Yeah, see, it's gone the opposite way. So now we'll put it back in the middle again. So now we're going to shorten it. It's hard to say, I think we're shortening it. But that should be the centre. There we go. I wish I could see it. I'll have to play it back to see it. That's how easy it is. You see what I mean? So one turn moves it what? I don't know. 5 centimetres or something like that. Anyway, it was a good little experiment, but that's how you can move it. But you must get it centred up first, because you don't want that tie rod, you know, too far out, because you don't want the ball joints coming out. But that's how to do it. But the ball joints, like I say, if you start off with it like this at one end and like this at the other, you're not going to get anywhere. This has to be right in the middle. 925 millimeters between here and here, and that's your starting point. Alright, hope you like that. If you get any questions, please ask, and be safe with steering.